We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Teach them the wonderful Dharma will to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung kính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo ngã môn, như á liêu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suchedo Ye Lahodi San Miao San Puto Che. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Đề Tam Hiệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Tu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai, 千万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 28th of July 2023. We're here at the Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Master Ching Liang prepared it, and we are on slide 469. Thank you all for coming. He's talking about scholarly thing, but it's a good survey of Buddhist teaching. So it's worth pursuing and try to hang on as long as we can. Text says, from this one knows that the small and great each have four doors, while if one merely says their first was existence and emptiness, with each one only grasps the meaning of one door.
是知小大各有四门，而但言出有次空者，各得一门之意耳。
Okay, commentary slide 470. So he's referring to the fact that many Chinese scholars, Dharma masters, and monks and nuns would like to analyze and classify the Buddhist teachings, and they're into two teaching, three teachings, four teaching, five teachings, and so forth. And he says all these teachings make sense to a certain way, but you look at them in great details, they fail in capturing Buddha's teaching. So therefore, he's going through this process of analyzing and picking them apart. He says, yes, I took the time to study the teachings, study the classifications. As you can imagine, Master Qingliang is very scholarly. He studied a lot of these Dharma Masters' systems or ways of studying Buddhism or classifying Buddhism. So he's very erudite. So he basically are saving us a lot of time in trying to follow the ancient masters' wisdom. And he basically says, it's okay up to a certain point, but for him, they fall short because they have they're not good enough for describing the Buddhist, for classifying the Buddhist teachings. So this is continuing from last week, where he says that the small vehicle and the great vehicle each have 4 doors, meaning they talk about emptiness and existence, and neither emptiness nor existence, or both emptiness or existence. So these are 4 prepositions, and therefore they all have it. Both the small vehicle and great vehicles have it. And to say that the 4 predication, to say that the first was existence and emptiness, then you are only explaining or elaborating on one of the 4 predications, of one door, one of the 4 doors, instead of the fact that they actually are intermixed. All right, and you see later. 471 text says, if one says that what falls within the 3rd period can only be called reproach and acclaim, then it cannot also be the permanent.
若云第30中，但名抑扬，亦非常者。
So next, he's criticizing the classification of the 3rd period. 3rd period is where the Dharma Masters, these Dharma Masters who promote advocating this, are saying this 3rd period of Buddhist teaching can be classified as reproach and acclaim. Reproach is to reproach the sound hearers, the arhats and conditioned enlightened ones, to be sterile seats. These is Buddhist teachings. And this is Buddha's words. Buddha's called the arhats and the sound hearers, the Hinayana practitioners, basically as sterile seats, as going nowhere. And so therefore it's a reproach. And Buddha first taught them, and then later he criticized them. He said, I taught you that not for you to be attached to it. It's for you to, as a temporary measure, to see how wonderful Buddhist teaching, Buddhist wisdom is. But that's not ultimate teaching. You should not stop there. You're supposed to continue. Okay? Those who stop there are sterile seats. They are not truly my disciples. Okay? That's why it's called reproach. And furthermore, if you criticize someone, you better have a substitute. So that's called acclaim. The Buddha says, for you who are sound hearers, you should know that my teaching is actually geared towards to phase you, to prepare you to go into the Bodhisattva stage, where they are the true disciples of the Buddha. Therefore, it's acclaiming the virtues and merits of the Buddha, about the Bodhisattvas. Okay? So far, so forth. And he says that you break it down to the 3rd period of reproach and acclaim only, then it does not contain the permanent teaching. Okay, don't worry. Okay, and no one remembers. I remember vaguely. I know you don't remember, so it doesn't matter. Okay, just listen to it. Listen to the scholars' wisdoms, and so that you are not shocked when you hear it later down the road. Okay, 473. Yet the Vimalakirti says the Buddha's body does not act and does not fall under any enumeration. Contemplate the body as real mark. Contemplation of the Buddha is also thus. And how can that not be the permanent?
净名云：佛身无为，不堕诸数，如观身实相，观佛亦然，岂无常耶？
Okay, so commentary slide 474. If you criticize someone, like Master Jingliang says here, he says he wants to refute a theory of acclaim and reproach. And he says if that's all he has to do is to demonstrate by the rules of logic, that name one example where the acclaim and reproach is not the case. Okay, so here it says in the Vimalakirti Sutra, which we will explain next after this, hopefully. Praise the Lord. Okay, you never know in our world. Any of my disciples unravel and go crazy anytime. We are becoming such a sophisticated machinery that we have so many different parts that are interdependent, and therefore one part needs the other. So one part goes crazy, we probably have to cut it off soon. Okay, so Vimalakirti is a sutra that says that in that section it says the Buddha's body does not act. Actually, it's a wrong translation. Wu Wei here is unconditioned. Okay, unconditioned meaning that the Buddha's body does not depend on anything for its existence. It has no conditions for its existence. That's why it's unconditioned. Okay, it has no dependency. Buddhas depend on nothing. I depend on some parts. Therefore, I'm not unconditioned. But Buddha's bodies are. BLI is very conditioned. Okay. So anyway, so you see, but from the conditioned, you go towards the unconditioned. That's a promise. You walk the BLI path, you go towards the unconditioned. Please, settle down. Okay, so he says the Buddha body is unconditioned. Okay, cannot be counted. Okay, it's beyond counting. You count because you see separation. Buddha body is the whole thing, the whole bowl of wax. So how can you count? You don't need to count. It's everything. Okay? All your counting is included in the Buddha's body. The Buddha body contains everything you want to count. Therefore, you cannot count the Buddha's body. In other words, how is it possible for you newbies? It's because the Buddha's body is referring to is the Dharma body or the entire universe. If you are the universe, why would you want to count yourself? Okay? No need to count yourself. Contemplate the body as real mark. Contemplation of the Buddha is also thus. Okay? So this body of the Buddha, okay, is actually the real mark. It's not what you think. Okay? When you enlighten, then when you hear the word real mark, then you know what it means. When you're not enlightened, contemplate the Buddha's real mark is that it is a real mark, and leave it at that. Don't try to understand. Do not make the mistakes of these scholars of trying to understand the Buddha's teachings and try to classify them as 1, 2, 3, third period, fourth period, fifth period. That's for losers. Okay, the weak ones need to be classified. Need classification because it narrows the range. It more or less, it take a pizza pie and slice it into smaller squares, which is a trend nowadays, I'm told. They don't do slices anymore. Did you know that? Why is that? Honju, why don't we do pizza with, they do square slices of pizza nowadays? You, the food expert, do you know? Anyone? Koreans, all Koreans, calling all Koreans. I know I went to Korea and I noticed that all the Korean Korean pizzas are still sliced. Okay? I've been to many pizzerias in Korea. They all slice. Yes or no? Nay? Yes. In America, for your information, from East Coast to West Coast, now our pizzas are square. More pizzas are square, by the way, not all of them. Why? Chakyeon, why? He's laughing. Why do you call me? She found it funny I call on her name. Huh? What? Anyone? Am I the only one here? I'm a monk and yet I know about square sliced pizza and you guys don't know? Francis, you're the one who has wisdom, hopefully. Save the day for us. Why?
Easier to eat.
Easier to eat. Okay. Shen Yun girl, why are pizza slices square? Clearly, mommy didn't took you to the wrong pizzerias. Anyone? Why? Yes, 5.
Isn't it pizzas in Italy is actually square?
Not all of them.
True, not all of them.
Mm-hmm. So why are square pizza slices popular nowadays? Yes, 5. I'm checking on who's really the real connoisseur of food. Hey, now Helen is saying, hey, I have a new topic for my TikTok audience. Yes?
Master, is it because you can get more slices, more pieces if it's square?
More pieces is square. Too womanly. Same answer in the back?
Yeah.
You are also too womanly. Anyone? Why are pizza slices square nowadays? JC question. Answer. I want an answer, not a question.
Master.
Yo.
Yeah. In Korea, we have a square style pizza here too. And then I think the young people, they want to have more flavors. So they can pick it up so many different flavors. And then they can mix it up with the one pizza with several slices.
Yeah, that's possible. Yes, Sienna in the back, who drives all around Seoul. You must have seen some square sliced pizzas in Seoul because Hee-young just using her brains to give me an answer, not through experience. I'm looking for someone who's eaten square sliced pizzas. And they understand immediately why. Yes, Sienna.
I haven't had the square one. It's my first time to heard of it.
Oh my God, how can you Koreans live like this? Okay, yes, Billy. Billy is the pizza expert, our in-house pizza expert.
Thank you, Master. As a food industry in restaurants, I do have quite a lot of food industry experience. As a pizza, I don't have that much experience, but as a child where I grew up, there is...
Just give it to us straight, man.
Names called hot pocket. This little hot pocket, they always belt this hot pocket.
Yeah.
And then becomes
I call it
very
calzone.
famous pizza's hot pocket. It's easy, convenience. It's grab and to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it saves time too. That's what they call it, pizza square.
So, no, it's not. The calzone is different. Yes, JC? Come on, Koreans. You have to speak for Korea now.
Yeah, I think the square pizza can eat topping a lot, and people doesn't really like the edge of a bread.
Ah, not bad. I noticed that a lot. Between us, you do that? Do you take a slice of pizza, you eat it, and you leave out the crust on the edge? Do you do that?
I think most of people doesn't like to eat the edge of the bread. Yeah.
God, so Korean.
So for me, it's
Huh? Helen, do you eat the crust or you leave it behind? Or when your dad takes you to pizza places, huh? You leave the crust. You don't eat the crust, right? You eat the crust? Okay. YongHua, does your daughter eat the crust or you don't let her eat the crust? Does she know what we're talking about? Never mind. Wait a minute. We brought back some more handheld microphone.
The kid doesn't like eating pizza.
Okay. All right. So no one knows why the pizza slices are square. No one, right? You have to eat it to know. Anyone who go for it knows. Nacho, do you know why pizza slices should be square? It doesn't. No one knows. Gosh. Where have you been? Am I the only one here who understands this concept of square pizza slices? Yes, Ahong.
Master, I did DoorDash back in the day. They call triple bean pizza.
Yeah.
It's square.
Yeah.
So people have a choice whether they can eat the crust or they just eat the thing with cheese. A lot of us, they don't like the crust, so they leave it out. And some people, they like the crust. They eat the boundary of it.
Yeah, so what happened to the boundaries then, to the square slices?
They just eat a little bit and they dump it away.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you. Do you want to know why pizza slices should be square? You don't know? Seriously? Master Xianjie, you Swiss, originally. There must be some square slice pizza in Switzerland. JMT. God, this is a matter of national pride, folks. I mean, how can you have not square pizza slices? Clearly, Switzerland people don't know how to live. No one? Okay, you give up, right?
안녕하세요.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
마이크가 살짝 늦게 켜졌습니다. 피자는 세모나게 자르든 네모나게 자르든 동그랗게 자르든 그거는 네모날 수도 있고 세모날 수도 있고 동그랄 수도 있다고 생각합니다. 그 다음에 동그란 피자보다 네모난 피자가 만들기가 더 쉬울 것 같습니다.
It's too long. It cannot be the right answer.
발상 전환이기도 한 것 같습니다.
The expert is here. Yeah, translation.
상우님 안 들려요.
Yeah, 상우님 말씀이요.
Pizza slice can be triangle or square or circle. And I think the square is easier to make, and it's a new idea.
New idea, okay. We're talking about Daniel, Catholic Daniel. Why square pizza slices are the rage nowadays in the U.S., across the U.S.? Do you know why, sir? Catholics don't eat square slice pizzas? You don't get it? If you have a pizza slice, come on, girls, you remember? Too late. Okay? The nice thing about a slice of square pizza, you fit in one hand. The slice of pizza are usually longer and bigger, so therefore you have to fold it and stuff like that. Yeah, it hangs out, and you have to fold it. Square slices of pizza, okay, you can fit in one hand, so you put it on a napkin, put it on your hand, so it's cleaner to eat, number one. Number two, on the other hand, what do? You can eat and drink more, faster. Seriously? You don't know this? Where have you been? Your husband don't take you out at all? I'm so sorry for you. Does it make sense now? Huh? Oh well, going back to the deep principles of the Avatamsaka Sutra. You learn it from here first about square slice pizza, okay? Okay, so contemplate the body's real mark, and contemplation the Buddha also does. So that's why after you become enlightened, that's when you can understand what real mark is. Okay, and so that's what he's referring to. So he says, according to all this teaching, Vimalakirti Sutra here, how can that not be the permanent? Okay, so he's using an argument to say that classification based on the period of acclaim and reproach, only the teaching of third period is only acclaim and reproach, actually also contains permanent as well. Some sutras during that period. Okay, next. 475. The Prajna also says the wisdom of the two vehicles is like a fire's flight. A firefly's light. The Buddha Bodhisattva's wisdom is like the light of the sun. And how is that not reproach and acclaim?
般若意云：二圣智慧犹如荧光，菩萨一日学智，如日之照，岂非异样？
Okay, so in a just before here, he says the Vimalakirti, which is in the acclaim and reproach period, talks about the permanent dwelling because he talks about the body of the Buddha, which is unconditioned and beyond counting, beyond numeration. On the other hand, during the Prajna teaching or the permanently dwelling teaching, in that particular teaching, there's a section, there's a quote, he quoted the teaching saying that the wisdom of the two vehicles is like a firefly's light, meaning that a firefly is that fly that emits light at night, and that when I remember when I was younger, I would collect a lot of them, put in a glass thing, and use it as lantern. We don't do it anymore, not here in America, in Korea, no. So It's because you need a lot of them to be able to have enough light, meaningful light. Okay, but regardless, the wisdom is amazing. The Buddha, in the sutras itself, the Buddha admits that the wisdoms from the arhats, from the sound hearers, from the conditioned enlightened ones, is as useful as a light from a firefly. Think about it. It's not very useful at all. It cannot solve anything. Cannot solve any real problems at all. So though you, that I said, you certified the 4th stage arhat, you still have quite a ways to go. You can't really do much. Okay? You can't help much. Can't really make that much of a difference. Isn't it fascinating? Yes, you can emit light, but that light is very limited. Okay? Okay. Whereas a bodhisattva's wisdom is like the light of the sun. So the firefly's light is so weak that when during the daytime, you cannot even see it at all. Meaning that if the bodhisattva's wisdom light is like the sun, then within, under the sun, the wisdom of the arhats and the pratyeka Buddhas are really insignificant, are really not meaningful at all. So how is that not a reproach and a claim? Okay, so he's basically in a Prajna period, the Buddha is actually criticizing by calling the wisdom of the two vehicle or sound hearers as a firefly's flight. And the Bodhisattva's wisdom is like the sun. Okay, so that's why basically all these classifications, these scholars and monks and Dharma masters who spend so much time classifying the Buddha's teaching and explaining them to their followers, basically they have so many holes that it works up to a certain point, but it's not very useful for the people who have true wisdom, who can go further. Okay? 477. If one says the 4th period only reveal identical return, then, and did not yet explain the permanent, the lifespan chapter says, permanently dwelling and not extinguished.
若云第40中但显同归，意为明常者，寿量品云，常住不灭。
Okay, so now the 3rd period. There's the first period being the mark, existence of marks. Second period being the marklessness or emptiness. Okay, 3rd period being identical return. 3rd period being acclaim and reproach, criticizing the sound hearers. 4th period being the identical return, meaning all the other teaching go back to this one teaching of the Buddha, okay, of enlightenment, true enlightenment. So he says, this 4th period here, if you claim that the 4th period only reveal identical return and did not yet explain the permanent, okay, then 479 commentary slide, and then in the lifespan chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra, there's a quote. It says, permanent dwelling and not extinguished. Okay. I'm sorry, the lifespan chapter of Dharma Flower Sutra. There's a phrase that says so. That's clearly permanent teaching. So he's picking apart the 4th period. So we say 4th period is only identical return. In the particular, the fourth period is a teaching of the Lotus Sutra. Then the particular teaching there, in that particular sutra, it's actually mentioned the permanent dwelling. So he says, therefore, the fourth period cannot simply be only identical return. 480. Also, the expedience chapter says, worldly marks are permanently dwelling, and so forth. And how is that not the permanent?
又方便品云：世间相常住等，岂无常耶？
Okay. Furthermore, in another chapter of the sutra, the expedience chapter, it says worldly marks are permanently dwelling, and so forth, and that's clearly permanent teaching, and therefore he says, I quoted you not only one but another instance here in the sutra where it actually refers to the permanent teaching. All right? 482. As to the fifth, taking Nirvana as a permanently dwelling, for the teaching within it, it can be that way.
五以涅盘为常住者，当教可耳。
Okay, so 483, commentary. If the fifth period, of permanent dwelling, where he teaches Nirvana is permanent dwelling, it's permanent, talk about permanence, then this small vehicle can also talk about Nirvana as well. So small vehicle is the first period. And the fifth period is the permanent dwelling, is for the big vehicle. And that therefore he's saying, you cannot simply say permanent dwelling is only in the fifth period. It's also the first period. He talks about it. And he quotes that the Nirvana, the small vehicle, the Agama store, also teaches about it. And you see it next. 484. But the time of Nirvana can also be seen in the small vehicle. For instance, within the Agamas, it talks about the characteristics of the thus come ones, Nirvana.
而涅盘之时，亦有小圣之见，如阿含中说：“如来涅盘之相故。”
Okay, 485. And now we get some information from Great Master YongHua. He says, the small vehicle also mentioned Nirvana, which is permanent teaching. Okay, forever. You enter Nirvana, it's forever. All right? And it's also, what is this Agama teaching or small vehicle teaching? It talks about the characteristics of the Buddha's Nirvana. Okay? So there's some interesting background information for you. In the Agama Sutras, it says that the Buddhas were eating a broth made from the fungus of the Chandana wood. The Chandana tree grows a fungus like an ear, okay, like a black ear mushroom that we use in Oriental cooking. Okay, and so that Chandana tree grows in ear. It has an ear mushroom, and so they made some broth out of it, and the Buddha ate that and had a backache, and he lied between the Sala trees, okay, in Magadha, and because he's in pain. What do people do when you're in pain? You enter samadhi. You meditate. So he lie down to rest, but actually the Buddhas, when he lie down to rest, he actually can enter samadhi. Okay, it's kind of a cool thing. When we lie down, we fall asleep. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, when they lie down, they actually can enter samadhi. All right? And so he entered this transcendence samadhi. Zhao Yue San Mei. What transcendence? It transcends your obstructions, the limitations of your body and mind. That's why you learn meditation. You go back to chant, enter samadhi, and will help you transcend your physical and mental limitations. Physical meaning that, for example, your legs are hurting. Don't unbuckle. Enter samadhi. Or your mind is depressed. Okay? Don't run away. Don't kill yourself. Enter samadhi. Meditate, enter samadhi. That's what we're learning here. Buddhas, that's what Buddhas do. When he has his physical body and it's aching, okay, he goes back to his place. He says, I understand you. When you're aching or you're not well, you lie down to rest. Yes, I lie down to enter samadhi. You should do it too. When you have a craving, I want to eat. What is that? I need to eat. I'm hungry. I need to eat. What's that? I need to drink. What's that? Huh? It's tormenting your body and your mind. So what do? If you were the Buddha, you lie down, you enter the transcendence samadhi. My girlfriend is giving me a bad time. I feel so miserable. What do? You lie down, you enter transcendence samadhi, man. No? So he entered the transcendence samadhi. And then in fourth dhyana, he entered the firelight samadhi. Okay, what is that for? Just in case you are interested. Okay, maybe the old abbot is interested. Okay, what for? He entered the samadhi and used its light to burn his body, save a lot of funeral costs. He doesn't find it funny, you notice. Yeah? No? Why do you need to buy money for cremation? Use your samadhi and burn your own body. No one told you, huh? Go and get a refund. It's only fourth dhyana, old abbot. In the fourth dhyana, he entered the firelight samadhi, meaning you can enter that firelight samadhi too. And burn yourself. Don't burn the clothes. Isn't that cool, huh? Okay, well. And through the power, burn his body, ending his awareness, only leaving Sharira behind in the world for people to make offerings to. Okay, old abbot, you burn yourself, and that's how you leave Shariras. Any questions? 486. If the initial one is that of humans and gods, although the Trapusha speaks of the precepts and wholesome acts, when he attained the way, that was all connected with the three vehicles.
若以人天为出者，体位虽说戒善，得道皆通三圣。
Okay. Anyone notice something strange on the screen? It's been bothering me for almost an hour now. Huh? DTT has only one person. What's going on? Young abbot, you didn't take a shower?
Master Yip-Chen, Yip-Om went to back to Korea, and then Sang Woo Sunim is translating, and Trapusha Senpo is controlling the AV station, so only me.
That's it? You should not have let them go back to Korea. Anyway, look at that. We spent so much money, bought the whole temple for one person. Oh, well. 487 commentary slide. Okay. Now some more anecdotes, Buddhist anecdotes. Trapusha and Balika were two lay people who first knew. They were the two lay people. As soon as Buddha became enlightened, he sat there under the Bodhi tree. He didn't get up at all. He got enlightened. He didn't get up and he said, "Hey, hooray, I'm enlightened, let's go have a drink." Buddha simply sat down. Yeah, it's like he's enlightened, after enlightenment and before enlightenment, it's all the same. Okay, so he said, continue to sit. But however, when he was sitting there, two lay people knew of it, because later you see that while the Buddha is sitting for 7 more days, these two men are actually very, very good buddies, and they're good in divination. So they knew that a sage appeared in the world, and they're supposed to go and make offering to the sages. Okay? And you make an offering first, and then you request the Dharma from the Buddha. Okay? And that's the order, by the way. Don't come and say, "I have a question for you." Yeah? Where's your offering? Okay? And this is protocol. Okay? Where you need to show your sincerity. Okay? And so they came to see the Buddha. They travel long distances, and actually their purpose is not to get, like most people here in California, they want some kind of things, like a job, like a lover. Okay? They want the Dharma because they know these people have wisdom. You know, the Dharma is the most precious thing you can ask from the Buddha. Okay? And in that Trapusha Sutra, 500 merchants went along with them. So they were traveling towards the Buddha, and these 500 different merchants heard of it, because it's a long road, you see, it's not easy for them to get to the Buddha. Okay, because these two laymen were traveling and met with 500 merchants. Back then, when you go on commerce, you go on a caravan because it's safer. The bandits will not try to attack you. There are too many of you. Okay, and so the 500 merchants, they met with the 500 merchants and got some water, got some food. The merchant get to talking. The 500 merchants who are very smart, savvy people as well, businessmen. Unlike businessmen nowadays, they don't look for the Dharma anymore. Okay? Back then, merchants were successful merchants. They seeking wisdom as well. That's the story behind the story. Okay? They're very successful in the world because they have wisdom, not because they're lucky, not because they cheat others, not because they scam others like Elon. So these 500 merchants heard of the Buddha. Oh, we want to go too. So all 502 of them went to see the Buddha. Okay? And because they all came to see the Buddha, they all became enlightened. Okay? Many of the 500 merchants attained the first or second fruit of arhatship. That is considered enlightenment in Hinayana. It's a big deal, trust me. Hinayana, you practice Hinayana Buddhism, it's very difficult for you to reach first or second stage arhatship. Case in point, most monks who practice the Theravada path do not make it the first arhatship. Doesn't matter how many PhDs they have, how many papers they have. Most of them don't. That's why they call themselves Mahathera PhD something. If you really have wisdom, you would not put yourself PhD. PhD is like you say, Donald Trump, Captain of the Guards, or businessman. You see that? You're president already. You're Donald Trump. You don't want yourself to be associated as a businessman anymore. Is that clear? Same thing. That's why many of these merchants who really didn't know much about Buddhism at all listened to the Dharma from the Buddha speech, sermons, and they became enlightened. Not only did the 500 merchants, but Buddhas also are surrounded by invisible beings like gods, dragons, and all the Eightfold Division who were there protecting the Buddha. Okay? Buddhas never travel alone. Even invisible beings, when they hear of the Buddhas appearing, they would come and listen to the Dharma. And guess what? DTT, you have one person coming to listen to the Dharma. That's why I was shocked. Okay? The whole world, people in the know, are seeking to hear the Dharma. And what the Buddha told them is not even the Avatamsaka principles like we're discussing tonight. So I'm impressed. So many of you come regularly, okay? And brave the distances and difficulties and the hardships, like the 500 merchants, okay? And the invisible beings. When the Buddha spoke this Trapusha Sutra, and you may want to look at it if you're curious, okay? Its principles, and when he talked about that, they talked about the precepts and the wholesome acts, okay? So in that sutra there, the Buddha explained about rules of morality, what's good, what's bad, all right? And then the wholesome acts. Wholesome acts means that you don't the 10 good deeds. Such as, what are the 10 good deeds? Catholics have 10 commandments, similar. Okay? But 10 good deeds are much more precise. Okay? So, the good deeds you don't do. Good deeds are things you don't do with your body. You don't kill. You don't steal. What else? You don't do deviant sex. Okay? And you don't with the body. Everyone forgets now. We only learn the advanced concepts, folks. So when we talk about the low-level concept, no one knows. Okay, and everyone pretends not to know is we are advanced. Okay, the easy ones are 4 of the body, 3 of the mind, and 3 of the mouth. 4, 3, 3. Okay, the mind is not angry, is not greedy, is not stupid. Okay, the mouth, what? Does not. 4 of the mouth, I'm sorry, not 3 of the mouth. That's why I couldn't come up with the 4th one for the body. 4 of the mouth, what are the 4? Sarju. What are the 4 things that Koreans are not supposed to do? 1.
사홍 스님이 통역 좀 해주세요.
Don't ask for help. You're supposed to learn this in Shamini school already.
첫 번째는 거짓말하지 않고, 두 번째는 양설을 하지 않고, 세 번째는 아첨하는 말을 하지 않고, 네 번째는 사홍 스님 뭘까요?
Help me, she says. I don't need to learn Korean. I know Korean from listening to them. So the first one is?
Don't lie.
Don't lie. Very good. Second one?
Don't two.
Double tongue.
Yeah, double tongue.
Two tongue. Okay? Number 3.
그게 뭐죠, 스님? 아첨하는 말. 귀여워.
Don't say frivolous.
Frivolous speech. Okay? You're so pretty tonight. That's frivolous speech, okay? Okay, number 4.
The number 4 is I'm not. I don't remember.
Koreans don't do that. This is the problem. This is the problem with the Koreans. They don't do number 4. What's number 4? Xin, Taiwanese. Do you Taiwanese do number 4? I do number 4 all the time. I do it today too. I did it today too. What's number 4? Gave the answer already.
Venerable Shenfa said harsh words.
Coarse
speech. Words. Yeah.
Swear words. Okay? I'm curious, how often do you Koreans swear? Yeah, I can't see very well because tonight my eyes are really blinded by the light. Blinded by the light.
Master, I have a question between frivolous speech and kind speech, like you and theo dệt. Cái từ ái ngữ theo dệt, I could not distinguish between the two.
What's the difference between the kind words, okay, loving words, and frivolous speech? Beats me. No one ever tried it on me, so I cannot tell the difference. Yeah, we have quick answer here, yes.
I think frivolous speech is insincere.
Insincere. And kind words are sincere? How long have you been married? That's why. Do you understand? Do you understand, Ahung? What she just said?
Master, so if I see a man handsome, I say, "Oh, you're so handsome." So, does it consider as loving speech or frivolous speech?
Ask her. She's the expert.
It depends on the intent.
What's your intent? Are you just collecting flowers, or are you sincere? Yeah, that's the Vietnamese expression. Hai hoa lem, collecting flowers. He's Vietnamese, that's why I'm using Vietnamese expression. Hai hoa.
I think I'm trying to collect flowers.
Collect flowers. Then it's frivolous speech. That settles it, doesn't it? You frivolous person. Daniel, what do Catholics have to say about this? You the expert. He's sleeping? Throw water. And such profound principles, he's sleeping. It is not even air conditioning here. Okay. So anyway, so you see, the frivolous speech and so forth, all those are, so you avoid committing offenses with the mouth, the mind, and the body are the 10 wholesome acts. Okay? So in the principle, very, very simple principles, the Buddha talked about something very principle, some simple facts such as don't do evil, do good. Okay? And then the mere fact of talking about the goodness and evil caused many of the people, many of them, not all of them, many of them, to attain fundamental purity of the 4 elements, the 5 skandhas, 6 organs, and various types of purity. Okay? So from listening to the Dharma, this is the power of the Dharma. The Buddha spoke Dharma to them, they listened to it, and all of a sudden they purified themselves. What does it mean, purify the 4 elements? Anyone wonders? Sir, are your 4 elements purified? Francis, don't look the other way. I know people when they don't want to be called. Hide behind the screen? Huh? Yeah? How about Jared, who look different nowadays? Huh? How do you purify your 4 elements? What do you mean, purify the 4 elements? Huh? Huh? Hey, Daniel, how do you purify your 4 elements? He's meditating. Enter the samadhi of transcendence. Yeah? Anyone? How do you purify the 4 elements? What are the 4 elements? Air, very good. Air and wind. Air, fire, what else? Earth. And water, very good. Excellent. Okay, the 4 elements. So you purify. How do you purify the 4 elements? No more questions. I'm a curious person. I read these things. How do you purify the 4 elements? And tonight, no one knows. Yeah? You listen, and the 4 elements are purified. How? Yes, in the back.
Master, this means take a shower.
Take a shower. Does taking a shower means to purify the 4 elements? It's to cleanse the 4 elements. How do you purify the 4 elements? Okay, booze. How do you purify booze?
Listening Dharma.
Huh?
Listening Dharma.
Listening to the Dharma. Some people listen, they don't get purified. Some people listen to the Dharma and say, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so thirsty, I'm so hot and thirsty, I need a beer. Wouldn't it be nice to have a beer? You know what's the number 1 beer in the US nowadays? No one knows? Am I the only one? God, you're making me look so bad. Precisely. Huh? What's the number 1 beer? YongHua knows. Look at that. Number 1 beer. He said,
I'm sorry, Master. I don't know the beer. So.
What do you know?
Isn't it, Master, through entering the samadhi, we can purify the 4 elements, isn't it?
Very good. This guy is good. Not bad. That's part of how you do it. Yes? What's the number 1 beer? Let's go back to beer first. I can't believe it. You Buddhists are so boring. I can't stand it. If you don't even drink, at least know which one you cannot drink. You wish you could. Yes, JMT.
안녕하세요.
Yeah, 안녕하세요. Sinan will save the day for all of you. What's the number 1 beer?
궁금하게 한다는. 저는 맥주를 잘 모릅니다. 죄송합니다. 술을 마실 수가 없어서 맥주에 관해서 잘 모릅니다. 사대를 청정한다는 것은 일단 호흡을
No,
거치고.
that's not that beer.
네. 호흡이 거칠어지지 않습니다.
Okay, purify the 4 elements. Never mind about the beer. God.
마음이 움직이지 않습니다.
You still not done?
조신 거친 행동을 하지 않습니다. 그 다음에 생각을 조심합니다.
I don't know about beer. To purify the 4 elements is mind is not moving, don't act coarse behavior, and be careful about our thought.
Okay. I guess so. Yes, comment from JMT. You still have a comment? JC, what's a beer? Koreans are so boring. They don't know anything about beer. But as soon as we're done, With the lecture, they go out and drink soju. Yeah, go ahead. JC.
요즘에 켈리 맥주가 유행입니다. 테라가 유행이었는데 켈리가 새로 나와서 남편이 요즘에 켈리를 마시고 있습니다.
No, it's not Corona beer.
My husband drink Kelly beer.
Can beer?
Kelly beer.
What?
Right, Kelly.
Korean beer. And that's not number one in the US. Yes, in the back.
Master, it depends. There's a stout, dark beer, we can drink Guinness. It's good. There's a Bud Light, and the Vietnamese, they like Heineken.
You hang around in the wrong crowds. That's why you're struggling so much. What's the number one beer in the US right now? Modelo. Yes, Mexican beer. It's very good. I love Modelo. I used to love Modelo. I mean, Helen, you're not supposed to listen to these things. Modelo. It's very good. Especially with seafood. I went to a town near the ocean in Mexico, and they brought us to this small restaurant, and for seafood, and so you have seafood, and then you have Modelo. And then the Mexicans, Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, Mexicans have these green onions with the bulb. The green onions in Korea is straight, right? The green onions, Korea is like a finger, right? In Mexico, the green onions have a bulb here, has a round thing here. Yes or no? You don't even know? Yeah, what the root is. That's a bulb. The root is a bulb. So it's about, twice as big. And it's very crunchy. So they grill it. And then you bite into it, and it's so crunchy and sweet. And then those were the good days. Never mind. You're so lucky you still lay people. Enjoy. Never mind. Okay. So going back to the real Dharma here. Okay. So what is to purify the four elements? Purify the four elements here refers to the body. I was waiting for someone to tell me what the four elements are. Basically, in Chinese Buddhism, when they say four elements, refers to the four components of your body. So they purify the body. Okay? Meaning, they don't want to do the three impure things with the body. Meaning, they don't kill, not even Catholics. They don't steal, not even office supplies. They don't do bad things with the girlfriend. Okay? I have children here. I can't. Okay, so that's how you purify the four elements, the five skandhas. So for many people, to purify the four elements, you don't commit the three the 3 impure things with the body, the 5 skandhas, meaning that now these people have some wisdom, okay? So that's why they attain the first stage arhatship and second stage arhatships. All right? So far, so good? All right. 491. And because that sutra says, Trapusha obtained patience with the non-arisal of dharmas, that further contradicts the secret traces sutra in which the 3 vehicles are spoken of in the second week.
故彼经云：提谓得不起法忍，又为密期经中第27日说三圣故。
Okay, 492. What he's referring to is that, see, these scholars, they said the first period talks about existence, okay, worldly things, and he's pointing out that he's citing examples, that he's quoting examples, he says, not so. In the sutra, the Trapusha Sutra, that mainly talks about existence or worldly things. Trapusha, it says Trapusha attained patience with the non-arisal of Dharma. Trapusha is the gang leader. He has the most wisdom. So when he listened to the Buddha's sermons under the Bodhi tree, he attained the patience with non-arisal of Dharmas. Okay? And so basically, the 2 vehicles, 3 vehicles are spoken in the second week. Okay? Not very early on. Not unlike the scholars claim that Buddha didn't speak about enlightened stuff or true wisdom stuff. Okay, so it says the patience of non-arisal of dharmas, and the Master Shiva explained as not a single dharma is produced, not a single dharma is destroyed. Okay. Meaning that not a single thought is produced. In other words, when you have a thought, it will die. Eventually. In some cases, some thoughts are like, I want to marry her. It won't die for a long time. And then until you die, and then it dies. Never mind. Anyone has any questions about non-arisal of dharmas? Anyone wonders what it means? Why is it important? Nacho. He's going back to Ireland very soon. According to Master Xianqie, Ireland is rather dangerous. No? You didn't say so? Must be someone else. Huh? They say that, Nacho, that when you go to Ireland, the U.S. Department of Foreign Affairs, the State Department says that Americans who go to Ireland, Dublin and so forth, they need to play it very safe, need to very low key. Don't come across as Americans because they get targeted. Okay? You're not American yet, are you? Yeah, you're safe, no problem. They want to target Americans. Okay? Don't draw attention to yourself. They come and do nasty things to you. In Dublin. Why am I the only one who knows about these things? You guys live at all? Why? They're not happy with us Americans. So that's when we have an edge. We don't look very American. But the Americans like Master Xianqie, looking like him, they target them. Anyway, just tidbits. Don't tell me you spend time going to lecture and you don't know anything about the world. That's why I'm trying to fill in the gaps for you. like the monks here, they work all day and all night, and they don't know anything at all. Ask them, what is the #1 beer in the U.S.? Huh? Just because you don't drink doesn't mean you don't have to know. How can you talk to people? They said, let's go have a beer. I said, no Modelo over there. And that bar doesn't serve a Modelo. Never mind. Questions or comments? Okay, so what is the patience and non-arisal of dharmas? This is, another word for it is patience and non-production of dharmas. It's beautiful in the name. I don't know why no one explained it to you. The patience of non-production of dharmas. What does it mean? It's so beautiful the way the Buddha names them. If you understand the name, you understand immediately what it's about. Anyone? When I talk about beer, everyone wants to listen. Everyone wants to know. When I want to talk about non-production of Dharma, I say, oh yeah, okay, Master, go ahead. Pizza? Everyone is interested. Why square slice pizza? But non-production of dharmas, no one wants to know. Ivy, what's non-production dharmas? You Chinese. I learned it from a Chinese. Yeah? No, they're not Chinese anymore. Yeah? Anyone? What's the non-production of dharmas? What's a dharma? No one? What's a dharma? It's amazing how the Chinese or the scholars don't explain this because they don't understand. I break it down for you. Why it's so beautiful. Why it's so clever. What's a dharma? A dharma, by definition, is what your mind, that includes the Catholic's mind, thinks of. Is it clear? So he thinks of his God. What is God then? Dharma. He's not even laughing. Okay? When we recite Emitofuo, what is Emitofuo? A dharma. Anything your mind thinks of is a dharma. The mind thinks of a dharma. You think of barbecue? Barbecue is a dharma. You think of beer? Beer is a dharma. Yes? You think of hate? Hate is... I hate this. Dharmas. Whatever your mind thinks of is called Dharma. Is that clear? Are we still together here so far? What's the production of dharmas? Thinking, precisely. This is how elegant the Buddha Dharma is. They don't say thinking, they say production of dharmas. This is why the Chinese are so confused and the Koreans are so confused, and the Vietnamese are so confused, because they go by the words, they don't understand the principles behind it. Production of Dharma is to think. And so what's the patience of non-production of dharmas? I give you for today only Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You give me the right answer. Anyone interested? Xian-Tung, do we still have Haagen-Dazs ice cream downstairs? They offered me Haagen-Dazs ice cream today. I said, after lunch, I said, would you like some Haagen-Dazs ice cream? I said, no, I'm going to save it for tonight. Yeah? What is patience of non-production of dharmas? What does it mean? Beautiful? See? It bothered me let me tell you, for over 10 years. It bothered me. So, why do the Chinese call it that way? I could not ask anyone, because every time I look at them, a person wants to ask, no, not you. No, not you. No, you're an idiot too. Huh? What is that? Patience of non-production of dharmas. Just JMT. It's beautiful. Let me tell you, Buddhism is so ingenious.
생각이 일어나지도 않고 사라지지도 않는 그 자리에 그 마음에 안주하여 그 마음이 움직이지 않는 것이라는 생각이 듭니다.
That point, there's no thought. The thoughts doesn't arise and don't die, and we dwell that point.
Xian-Fa, come up here. Is she here? She's hiding behind a pillar. Come up here. Let me demonstrate to you non-production of dharmas. Would you like demonstration? Huh? Would you like a demonstration? Anyone would like to volunteer to help me demonstrate non-production of dharmas besides Xian-Fa? I don't want you to think I'm partial to Xian-Fa, because if someone who wants to take her place, by all means. Do you want to take her place? Come here. Sit down. It's full lotus. Because I'm going to demonstrate to them. Closer, a little bit closer. Are you ready? Closer, a little bit closer. Yeah, closer. Look, facing the other. Yeah. Okay. Is that how you sit in full lotus? Seriously? Back up a little. Okay. Are you ready? Koreans, this is how we teach people in America. Not like you. Okay? That's non-patience of non-production of dharmas. Okay? Next, who would like to demonstrate, help me demonstrate what is patience of non-production of dharmas? Anyone? Helen, would you like to come up here? See, this is why Koreans they don't understand patience and non-production of dharmas. They don't. What does it mean? You need to be patient in order to have non-production of dharmas. Isn't that beautiful? You like? Meaning what? If you're beaten, what do? Nothing. You don't bow, you don't do nothing. That's why she failed. That's why she's not getting Haagen-Dazs tonight. You blew it, kid. I was about to give you some Haagen-Dazs, but not tonight because you didn't earn it. You got it? It takes patience to have non-production of dharmas. It's so beautiful. That's why we, in our training, what do? We make you endure. What? Leg pains. What else? Suffering. What else? You forgot already? Kimchi. Vietnamese MSG. Master O. Abbott's temper. You endure. Enduring suffering, enduring slander, enduring insults will help you become more patient. We're training you to become enlightened, folks. Patience and non-production dharma means you are a fourth stage arhat. The more you suffer without bitching, without moaning, without blaming others, without getting depressed, I'm going to run away. The stronger your wisdom. But if as soon you suffer, you run away, you'll never have wisdom. That's what I used originally when I started teaching. Temple too small, living room too small, so I taught everyone, you must get in full lotus. You don't get in full lotus, get out of here. But now my students have much more compassion than I do. They teach anyone. See, if you endure the hardships, endure the suffering, that's how you will open this wisdom called patience. That's why Chan training makes you naturally become more patient and more patient and more patient until you are not bothered by anything anymore. When someone insults you, you say, Someone praises you, You're hungry, You're thirsty for Modelo, You endure. You don't bitch and moan. Do you understand? That's wisdom. Fairness has nothing to do with it. Smarts has nothing to do with it. You endure. Now, after listening to this, I expect many of you to become enlightened. Because this is much more profound than the Buddha's Trapusha Sutra. All right? Thank you, everyone. We stop here tonight.